See, vision is the where. Vision is the mountaintop. Purpose is the why. Why do I want to scale the mountaintop? And so when we lose motivation, we have forgotten our motive. So the root word of motivation is motive. When we watch these legal dramas on television or in the movies, and the lawyers that are the prosecuting attorneys, and they are trying to convince the jury that there was a motive, and they're trying to say, this is the motive. And if they can establish motive, then guilt can be attached. And essentially it's going, why would that person do this bad thing? Well, here's why. And when they prove the why, and so it's like the root word of motivation is motive. So I just got to be able to say, what's my motive? Well, it's about getting the right person in the right spot, right? So I'm a big football fan. We're in the middle of football season. So you've got a 53-man roster on the NFL. And so every year they go through an arduous process by which they take, 90 some players or whatever it is when they start training camp, and then they whittle it down to a 53-man roster. And the great GMs and the great coaches are ones that assemble the right talent. And so the leader's role is, do I have the right people on the right seat of the bus? That is the primary role. However, a blind spot for leaders is when they don't think, how do I keep them? Is about making sure that they see an opportunity to grow, not just in their skill set, not just in their experience. At the end of the day, we are creatures of progress. And so you've got to make sure that you give these people a ladder to a future. I signed up for broadcasting class and got there the first day, and there were a bunch of 20-somethings, and I was 33 at the time, I think, 34, I can't even remember. And it was 2 weeks into the class before the guys realized I wasn't an instructor. And so it was kind of humbling, but it was also great. Got me the opportunity to do my first live broadcast, which was high school football play-by-play on the internet. 2 people listening to that first broadcast, the kid in the booth next to me and my wife, because she's a really good woman. So that's how I began the process of getting in. It falls into 3 major buckets of people that are listening to the show and calling the show. The first group are people who really don't know clearly, or they don't believe firmly that they know what they're supposed to do with their life. So we could call them unclear or confused. That's the first bucket. I'm not sure what I want to do with my life, Ken. The second group, they know what they want to do, pretty darn good idea, but they don't know how to get there. And then the third group is very interesting. They know what they want to do or what they're supposed to do. They know how to get there, but fear, finances, or family, or past failure is keeping them on the sideline. From paycheck to purpose. Those 4 words really address the emotions that every human experiences around work. Think about it, right? From paycheck to purpose. Paycheck is the provision we all have got to provide for ourselves or for others. But then we all long to make a difference. We want people to realize that you can make the income that you desire and the impact. You really can. You can have both. It's possible. And the worldview of work is that it's a 4-letter word, right? I just do it because I have to. I work to live, as opposed to I live to work. I live to make a difference, to create, to contribute. Do I take a job with a Fortune 500 company, which has got the stock options, the great benefits, yada, 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 super secure, versus do I go start my own business? Who's to say that the job with the Fortune 500 company is, in fact, that stable? If the economy tanks, or there's a moral failure, or there's something that goes on, all that stock can evaporate in a moment. Betting on yourself is as safe, if not safer, than working for someone else. We all tend to lean towards a future that is almost paint by numbers, as opposed to going to a blank canvas and painting our own masterpiece. Therein lies why most people don't pursue greatness, is that we would rather be safe and even potentially miserable than we would to be uncomfortable.
If you enjoy this podcast, please make sure to subscribe. And to stay updated on everything that the Action Catalyst is up to, make sure to follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Action Catalyst Podcast and on Twitter at Catalyst_Action. And thanks for listening.